So it's getting towards the time of the year when you're thinking about going on a holiday, and you might be thinking, the Philippines sounds like a good option. Well, I'm here to tell you today the top 10 places to visit and things to do in the Philippines. The Philippines offers a range of different activities, different islands and different things to see. With over 7,000 plus islands in the country, it is a gem. It has amazing waterways, it has amazing churches and old sites, creative and stunning towns that are saturated with blue water and green coconut trees, as well as off the beaten path villages and trails with strange animals, rice terraces, breathtaking sights, as well as some of the best food I have ever had. Due to how many different places there are in the Philippines, it has an abundance of different things it can offer, and that's what we're going to get to in this video. So strap yourselves in for the next 20 minutes of knowledge, information, and a whole lot of fun. Let's explore the Philippines together in just 20 minutes. In this informational depth video where I take you through the best itinerary for this amazing country called the Philippines. So g'day and good morning guys, and welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jack Torr, and I'm currently traveling around the world documenting and creating travel stories to share with you guys on YouTube, giving you the best tips and tricks to how to travel, as well as taking you on my adventures so you can be right beside me and experience the fun times we have together. Okay, so today's video is the top 10 things to do and visit when you go to the Philippines. So I just spent one whole month in the Philippines. I literally extended my visa out to the very last day I left on my passport because I loved it that much. There is so much to do in the Philippines, and we're going to dive deep into that. So yeah, strap yourselves in for this one. Grab a beer, grab a tea, because we're about to dive deep into some knowledge about the Philippines and just have a whole lot of fun where I can run you guys through what to expect, and most importantly, what to do when you're here in the Philippines. So as you may tell, this will be my last video for the Philippines. My next video, I'll be flying from Manila all the way to Osaka, Japan. So I'm super excited to show you guys Japan and show you everything around there. But there's one disclaimer I just want to mention before I move on with the rest of the video. Now, there is a little bit of talk in the vlogger world, the travel vlogging world, that Filipinos subscribe to your channel, but when you leave the Philippines, they don't watch. And I was thinking, it sort of does make sense because I have seen it before, but I reckon the Filipinos who have subscribed to my channel are pretty loyal people. I see you guys all in the comments and liking the videos, so I was thinking, I want to challenge you guys. Don't be like the rest and continue to watch my next travel series in Japan. And as well, you can go to Japan. You do have a passport. If you don't, you can get a passport. Or if you can't afford it, live your travels through me and come to Japan with me. So yeah, I just want to say, please stick around if you're from the Philippines. So the Philippines, why should you go? Well, the Philippines is made up of 7,000 plus islands with one of the fastest growing populations. There is a lot to see and do with crystal clear blue waters, blue lagoons, white sandy beaches, coconut trees, relaxation, and lovely people that, I might add, speak very good English. So it's a dream travel destination. It is definitely a must to come to the Philippines. So let's dive deep now with number one of what you should do when you arrive in the Philippines. Well, chances are you're going to be arriving in Manila. Manila is the biggest and capital city of the Philippines, and when you get there, you will be thinking, how do I best spend my time here? You maybe have 2 or 3 days in Manila before you go to the next island. So here's my tips for Manila. So I recommend going to Fort Santiago. This fort is an amazing built up fort with a lot of deep history. I believe it's only 100 pesos to enter, which is about $2. So it's definitely worth it. I would definitely go in the morning before the heat struck you, and as well it's actually quite quiet in the morning. So if you go around 9 or 10 a.m, you should be beating the crowds and the tour buses that end up there at around lunchtime or in the afternoon. Explore around Fort Santiago. I won't get too much into detail of the history of the place. I won't spoil that for you, or if you want it spoiled, I'll leave the video where I went there up here. Up next, I would be going to Manila Cathedral. This is an amazing old cathedral church built in the 1500s. Go in there and experience the peace and tranquility and view all of the amazing old architecture. Also, there's a hot tip. There's a cafe that does the best milkshakes and iced coffee right next to that. So if you're in the hot sun, that's a good place to escape. It's also air conditioned as well, which is quite nice. And next to there's a park as well, which you can chill out after you've done a little bit of exploring. Next up, I recommend going to Razel Park. This is one of the main parks in Manila and it is lovely. Free to enter, walk around, you can grab an ice cream, you can go and check out the Chinese garden, and you can also look at the memorial of the guards as well. So yeah, it's a really nice place, full of information, full of history. Definitely check out Razel Park. So if you arrive on Friday, that's your Saturday done. But on Sunday, you might sort of want to get some food, experience some more local vibes, maybe try out a market. So that's when Lingaspi Sunday Market comes in. This market is a great local market with selling local handmade knickknacks. It sells food, it sells lechon, which is like a roasted pig on a spit. It is amazing, you should definitely try that. Also a lot of Filipino desserts and other things as well. By the way, everything I mentioned in this video will be linked in the description, all in order, all set out nicely, so you could pretty much copy and paste this and make this your itinerary for when you go to the Philippines. That afternoon, or maybe even on the Monday, you can go to Venice Grand Canal Mall. Oh my gosh, this mall is amazing. They've pretty much built it on the idea of Venice. It has a blue canal running through it with a lot of high-end shopping malls and also your local Western comfort foods. So if you're missing home already, you can have your TGI Fridays or your Guzman Gomez or American barbecue or something like that, because it has everything you need. And it's also a really cool place to take some selfies and be in Venice. Who doesn't want to be in Venice, right? Rightio, so your time's up in Manila and you're ready to go to your first island in the Philippines. So you're thinking, where should I go first? Cebu, Bohol, Boracay? Well, I recommend you go to Coron. This is probably the first island that makes sense to go to first. Coron is an amazing place, filled with things to do, but there's not as many tourists as you would expect. That's why Coron is first on my list, because you can dive into the Filipino culture, talk to locals, do fun activities, but not be crowded with other Western tourists. There will be other Filipino tourists there, but hey, sometimes you just want to get away from your own kind, and Coron is the best place to do that. So, what do I recommend for Coron? Well, if you want a really nice place to stay with an affordable room, and quite a big room I might add, then I recommend you should go to Coron Gateway Hotel Suites. This is where we stayed and we got a massive room for $15 US each per night, which came with a massive jacuzzi tub, so I definitely recommend checking out them. So on your first day, what you want to do is maybe rent a motorbike or even get a taxi tricycle and go to these two places, the Hot Springs and Cabo Beach. So the Hot Springs is a great place to relax. It's a natural hot springs with different hot spring baths. And you'll see me here for the next hour. Saltwater hot springs, extremely hot, so make sure you've got no sunburn, otherwise you'll start to peel. And yeah, just relax in the hot springs. You can buy a nice cold drink and you can be there for as long as you want. So that's 200 pesos to enter, but that covers you for the whole day. And yeah, you can really relax and just chill out at the hot springs. After that, I recommend taking the taxi or your motorbike about 20 minutes up the road to Cabo Beach. When we went there, we had the whole beach to ourselves and it was just amazing. They have little bamboo bungalows and huts on the side, and they also have a lady there selling snacks. Now this was just 50 pesos to enter, which is about a little bit over $1 to enter. And yeah, it is definitely worth it. As we were leaving, there were people showing up, but I think chances are when you go, you'll probably be the only ones to yourself because you actually have to drive through a local village to get to it. So it's a really cool experience getting there. Rightio, so it's day 2 on Coron. I recommend you should be island hopping. The best way to do this is going to the local tour agencies around the island and just booking. Here's the one that we used and they were great, and they also gave us a really good price. So I recommend checking those guys out. But once you get on a tour, there's a few different tours you can do. Tour A, Tour B, and there's also a shipwreck tour as well. We went on the shipwreck tour because we were also able to see these shipwrecks, but also islands as well. And we did snorkeling, so it was a win-win. You sort of got a little bit of everything, which I reckon is the best way, best bang for your buck. I think if you do tour A or B, they're quite similar. The first thing we did is we went snorkeling in this amazing coral reef with all of these rainbow fish. The water was so clear and we were the only ones there. That's the thing I love about Coron, is there's very few tourists, way less boats. The only other boat that was with us was actually a scuba diving boat, not even a tourism boat. So yeah, really cool. And then we went to Pass Island where we were the only ones there. Normally that island is extremely busy, but guys, if you go now, there's not that many people there. So I recommend booking your tickets to the Philippines soon before it goes busy again. So that was number 3 with the island hopping in Coron in the Palawan. Sleep better anytime, anywhere with Manta Sleep. Thank you Manta Sleep for partnering up with my video. When Manta Sleep reached out to me, I thought it would only make sense to do a sponsorship with them. As I've been using their product for the past 2 months, it has been a game changer for me. Their masks are 100% blackout for a deeper sleep. Don't you just hate it when you get a sleep mask and they don't even black out the light? Like, what's even the point? Well, the Manta Sleep mask does just that and blacks out all light. They are also zero pressure as well and very soft on the eyelids and very spacious. My favorite though is the Manta Cool Mask, which comes in a separate pack, which you can add on to your Manta Sleep mask via Velcro. This allows you to keep cool and calm in humid environments, for example on a non-air conditioned train, for all you budget travelers out there. Thank you Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. So that brings me to number 4, which is El Nido. El Nido is undoubtedly one of the most amazing and popular tourist spots in the Philippines, with amazing white sand beaches, turquoise waters, and a whole lot of fun. This place is practically built for tourists, and it is a great place to be for at least 5 days. They have amazing restaurants. They're very also into the hippie and like vegan and sort of health vibes as well. So you can go to a lot of health shops, a lot of vegan places, a lot of surf stores. It's a little bit like Bali, to be honest. It sort of has that vibe. Now you might be thinking, great, more island hopping in El Nido. Well, in actual fact, I didn't actually do it because when I went, there was thousands of boats in the main port of El Nido, and I thought, nah, I don't want to island hop and pay all that money with everyone else. So I thought, what does El Nido itself have to offer? So we did a few things while we were in El Nido, and there's a lot of things you can do rather than just island hopping. Number 1 is the canopy walk. This is a great walk that goes all the way to the top so you can see all over El Nido. It's really amazing and I definitely recommend checking that one out. As well, we went to a lot of different beaches on the island. We explored, sat under some coconut trees, just relaxed. Because if you're on holiday, you should relax every now and then. It shouldn't always be go, go, go and rush, rush, rush. You have to relax when you're on holiday. It's important. And as well, I recommend checking out the shopping in El Nido. It's great. There's a lot of vendors selling different things. Shirts, slides, flip-flops, backpacks, anything that you need, they have in El Nido, and it's actually reasonably priced. I definitely recommend. Finally, a restaurant in El Nido that I recommend is Butanding Seafood Restaurant. Here I got garlic prawns on the beach and they were to die for. I ate that with some rice and sunk down a Red Horse beer, which by the way, you have to try out the Red Horse beer. Quite strong, but pretty good. So yeah, I ate that and that was beautiful. They also had crab there as well. So it's a great place and I recommend checking out. So number 5, so you've done El Nido. Where to next? Some people would either fly from the El Nido airport to Boracay or get the ferry to Boracay. Now, we opted not to go to Boracay. Why, you might think? Well, we actually decided to go to Cebu instead. After going to 2 sandy tropical islands, we thought if we go to Boracay, that's another white sandy beach island. It is great, but let's try and experience a little bit more of the Philippines. So we decided to go to Cebu. Rightio, so because you're in Cebu City, Cebu isn't really famous for its surrounding beaches, but what they are famous for is their historical landmarks and waterfalls. So that's what you should be doing when you go to Cebu. So first, I recommend checking out some of their churches in the city centre. There hasn't been a place where I've seen statues of this detail, as these churches have a lot of history behind them. So I recommend going there, reading the plaques, spending your time, walking through and just experiencing the churches there. It has a lot of history to offer. They also have another fort called Fort San Pedro, which is a great fort as well. It's a lot more maintained and a lot more intact than Fort Santiago, and it's in a lovely park area as well. They also have an extremely old ancestral house, which is one of the oldest houses in the Philippines. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit creepy, but it's definitely worth checking out. The entry fee for that is only 100 pesos, which is just over $2. So on your second or third day in Cebu City, I recommend checking out the Taoist Temple. This is a peaceful and amazing temple to go to with rich colors and really nice architecture. However, the employees there aren't the most friendly, but if you can get by that and wear your mask, because they require you to even wear your mask outside. Don't get me started on that, but anyway, that's their rules. So walk around with your mask on. Try not to take photos in the shrine because they won't allow you to do that, but photos of the building and photos of the city you can do. And yeah, it's really good. It's free to enter, not that far out from the city. And yeah, it's a pretty nice experience if you can get over the rude staff there. So yeah, once you finish that though, I recommend going to Tops. This is a place probably half an hour from the Taoist Temple on a motorbike, and you can go all the way up to Tops and see a massive view of the city. You pretty much can see the whole city from there, and there they have a lovely restaurant with some reasonably priced food as well. A little bit more expensive than your street food, but hey, that's fine to pay with the view that you get from there. Definitely recommend checking out Tops. After that, another half an hour drive to Little Amsterdam Garden, where you can get some amazing Instagram photos in the hands of God and also walk around the garden. It's a little bit touristy, but once you can get past that, it is a great place to be, and it's pretty fun as well. If you have kids, great place to take the kids. Finally, on that day, I recommend spending another 20-minute drive going back into the city, and on the way back, you should stop at Balan Falls. This is a great place to get your waterfall fix. Now, most people would say, Jack, why don't you go to the main falls? Well, I'll get to that in a second. So these falls are great. They have about 4 different levels, and they have a guide as well that you can get for 200 pesos, which is about $5. And the guide will take you all through the village, make sure you're going the right way, and look after you while you're at the waterfall. Make sure you don't drown. And once you're done, he'll walk you back. So next up, the following day, I recommend going south of the island in Cebu and going canyoneering. I didn't do this myself, but fellow YouTubers Owen and Ashlyn did that, and I'll put up some of their footage now. As you can see, it is an amazing vibe. Jumping off waterfalls into the blue crystal clear water, it is great. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough time to go myself, but I reached out to these guys and said, hey, can I use your footage? And they said, sure thing. If you guys remember, I actually linked up with these guys in Malaysia, so check out their channel if you want to see more travel videos. So because you're already south, you may as well head down to Oslob. There you can swim with whale sharks. How cool is that? So my friends also swim with whale sharks. You get a paddle boat out not that far from the shore and you can swim with whale sharks, and by the looks of it, it is an amazing experience. So I definitely recommend checking out that as well if you're in Cebu and if you have the time. So from Cebu, I recommend getting a 3-hour ferry ride all the way to Bohol. Bohol is a lovely place and known for its chocolate hills and a little alien looking monkey called the Tejero. Both of these attractions are what make Bohol famous, but there's also a few more things that make Bohol really special, and that would be the Hinundan Cave. This is a blue water underground cave where you can come in, go through a cave and experience an amazing blue water lagoon. So Bohol offers a range of really nice restaurants and hotels. The area I recommend staying in is actually right near the airport in the Panglao part of the island. There I stayed in Hotel Sebastian. This was a lovely place, not sponsored by the way, I just really liked the hotel for the money that I paid for. Massive room, nice shower, you couldn't ask for more. It's very central, so yeah, I recommend staying that area of the island. It gives you the best way to rent motorbikes, get a massage, go to the beach and just organize everything from that area. There's also a lot of other travelers in that area, so you can meet up and make some friends while you're there as well. So finally, number 10 is Davo City. Probably saying that wrong, people say it a few different ways, but Davo City is the second biggest city in the whole country of the Philippines. And it is a great place to end your trip, sort some things out if you're going to another country. It's also great for digital nomads as well. So if you're like myself and you work online or you work on the computer, Davao is a really good place to just sit down, do some work. There's also really good Wi-Fi and it's less busy than Manila, and the food is a lot cheaper than Manila as well. So Davo City, there's obviously some activities you can do there as well. That's a great place to end your trip. You can fly out there to your next country, or you fly back to Manila and fly to your next country from there. But I do have 2 more bonus tips for you guys, because we are all about bonus tips on this channel, giving you guys the best information. So what are your bonus tips? Number 1 is to try Jollibee. Jollibee is super famous in the Philippines and it is a interesting fast food. It's mixed between McDonald's or KFC, but you couldn't even compare it to them. It's famous for its succulent chicken joy and also the Jollibee spaghetti. If you go to some fancier restaurants, they actually have Jollibots, which is a robot that delivers you food. So definitely go and check out Jollibee. It's a must when you're in the Philippines. My advice number 2 is if you go into any supermarkets to buy some water, buy some snacks, make sure that you break up your big notes, your big bills. Even if they say, do you have smaller money? Just say no, hide it in a different part of your wallet and give them the big bills. Now that might sound a little bit mean, but when you're buying street food or paying a taxi driver, most of the time they don't have change. And it is a massive problem in the Philippines. And remember, if you're Filipino, please watch in my next series in Japan. Don't just unsubscribe, don't just not watch, because guys, please prove the other travel vloggers wrong. I know you're gonna stick around, so please stick around, guys. As always, guys, keep it real. Cheers.